Paul McCartney and Heather Mills.
Right. The court battle has been settled.
It has indeed.
It has.
One of the conclusions that I've reached from it is that, unsurprisingly, Heather Mills is a whore. We will explain some of those details right now. What was the conclusion of the settlement?
Well, the judge has